Today we are with Martyn Ford, who is the face and heavily involved of 5% Nutrition. Got a busy year this year, involved in some other bits and bobs and moving into the big screen as well. But we'll kick first off with what fuels the big man in terms of daily food intake. Give us a breakdown of what
daily food.
Yeah.
Okay, well, at the moment I'm actually prepping some of my food. I'm eating like a bit of a girl, to be honest.
Yeah, and there was a bit of a steak then as well.
And I had salmon. So yeah, at the moment breakfast is egg whites, 3 whole eggs, 8 egg whites. I'll have 150 gram of oats with 2 scoops of whey protein, just for the flavour more than anything, for the morning one. I'll have that probably about 7 o'clock in the morning. I'll have another meal around about 9, which will be, I'll have 50 gram dry weight of rice, 250 gram white chicken breast, and a serving of green veg. I'll then train probably about an hour after that, and that will take me up till lunchtime. Lunchtime will be exactly the same as pre-workout, so I'll have my chicken, rice and veg, and then at the moment I'm cutting carbs then after the post-training.
Okay, so you're holding back on carbs?
Yeah, well from probably 2 o'clock I hold back on carbs, so I'll have salmon and veg, then I'll have chicken and veg, then I'll have another, I'll either have egg whites with some salad and some avocado, or I'll have whitefish or turkey. So I keep a very low fat.
Keep all very clean then as well?
Oh, very clean, yeah. I've always ate very clean. And I'll have the avocado with the last 2 meals. Lots of veg, lots of salad. And then every 4th day, I'll put a reload in.
Okay.
So I'll take my carbs on the low day will be around about 150.
And keep that all clean as well, even on the refeed day?
Yes and no. I'm going to confuse you. So, if I'm looking like a fat git, my reload is clean.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm looking on point and track, I tend to put 1 meal in, which is I'll probably have a cheat meal every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then that cheat meal, my coach wants me to have around about 4,500 calories in 1 meal, which is easy. It's not that hard to do. Trust me. Once you start adding in the ice creams and the pizza with a bit more cheese and the fatty meats and some stuff like that, it's not that hard to get that sort of volume in, especially at my size.
No, I know.
But what I'll do on the cheat day, I'll also make that a high carb day. So throughout the day, I'll have 100 gram of carb with every meal.
Okay.
So I'm looking
a little bit more then.
Yeah, it's a complete refuel. So if I'm doing just a refuel day on clean food, I'll go up to 600 gram of clean carb.
Okay.
If I'm doing a refuel day and a cheat meal, I'll do probably around 500 gram of clean carb and then plus a cheat meal on top.
How did you first get into training, and what keeps you motivated today to keep training?
Okay, I first got into training properly when I was probably 14. I was always very good at sports, and then when I was 14 I got selected for a cricket academy, Warwickshire, and I played for England as well. And I remember going to the England academy and thinking I was the dog's bollocks because I'm playing.
Have you always been a big kid then?
I've been tall, and I was big when I was like 13, 14, and I went to the academy, and I remember the coach going, "Yeah, you're alright, but you're fat." I was like,
just what you want to hear, yeah.
What? I wasn't even that fat. That's what's terrible. Like looking back, I was just chunky. I wasn't fat. But obviously this was like England level academy, so
it's high standard.
Yeah, I mean the coach was saying it a bit tongue in cheek, but he's like, you need to get into your fitness, and he had a fair point. I wasn't training as hard as I should. I didn't really understand it at like 13, 14. I just played the sport and that was it. So I remember signing up for my first gym membership was at Living Well, which is Ballantyne's now.
Yeah.
Terrible. Should be ashamed.
Yeah, I've been to
Let's get to a real gym. and it was all cardio based. It was a lot of bikes, interval on the treadmill. There was cross training, swimming, and weight training was pretty much non-existent. To be honest, it was press ups, dips, bodyweight stuff. Apart from we used to do a lot of rowing and pull downs. And apart from that, that was pretty much it. Like the leg section of it would be walking lunges and squat jumps.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I was 21 that I got into weight training. And the reason I got into weight training was because I picked up an injury when I was 19 to my groin. I was a fast bowler and I was playing on a wet pitch. My leg went that way and this one stayed there and it snapped. And I was basically forced to retire from the sport. So obviously me being professional at that point, 19-year-old kid, didn't really focus too much at school because I was going to be a professional cricket player to you know, one day being happy as Larry, the next day
dreams over.
What the hell? And so I had like 4 or 5 months of a real hard time where I couldn't get my head around it. Lost a hell of a lot of weight. Probably went from 14, 15 stone to maybe 11, which at 6'7", 6'8" is a bad weight.
Oh, yeah.
I looked terrible. And then like overnight, I remember thinking, oh, I've got to change this. I look like a right twat. I just look terrible. So I signed up to a proper gym, like a man's gym. And that was it. There was no looking back. I fell in love with weight training. I had no clue what I was doing. I used to do all over body workouts every day of the week. Come home and just eat. I used to eat loads of toast, loads of bread, loads of fruit, because that was and potatoes and pasta. That was our diet as a sports person. We were just told from a young age just to fuel up on carbs.
For energy.
And it worked so well. I went from 11 stone to 20 stone in like 6 months on my life, and I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea. There was no supplements involved. I didn't know what supplements were. I was a cricket player. So all I'd done was just eat so much carb and so much fruit, and obviously I had a very good motor because I was so fit from playing cricket. My body just responded really well to that type of training, and I think I was probably doing anywhere between 10 and 20 repetitions at the time, and I'd go and I'd do chest back shoulders like
bro split
every day. Do you know what I mean? And if it was sore, I'd do a bit of legs, or I'd do a bit of arms, and there was no structure to it at all, and that was probably the best I've ever developed in an amount of time.
When you first start training, don't you just get in, get stuff done, and everyone starts with that fuck me moment where you look in the mirror and like shit.
You don't really need to. I think when you first start out, you just need to enjoy it. And then once you hit that level, you'll get results. If you never use the gym properly and you eat enough food and you go into a gym, you're going to get results regardless. But you will hit a point where you stop. And that's when you need to try and educate yourself more and really start to understand. And I think for me that was probably when I was 20, 26, 27, I really started to look a little bit deeper into the whole supplementation and how you train properly. And it became a bit more of an important part of my life. And I'm 35 now, and I'm still learning. You learn every day.
I mean, you never stop learning, do you?
Go on.
And I think you touched on the most important part of why I always say to people is about enjoying it. I think so many people copy what other people are doing and then fall out of love with it because they're trying to force themselves into something that they don't enjoy doing. If you're going and enjoying it every day, you're going to give it 100%. If you're turning up at the gym going, fuck me, I can't be arsed being here.
I think the biggest problem with fitness nowadays is that there's so many amazing athletes out there that normal kids look at and aspire to be, and they're never going to achieve it. Do you know what I mean? Everyone can look good, and everyone can look better than what they look, but not everyone can be that top 1% in the world. And I think that's the biggest problem with the industry is we make out like you can look however you want if you put the effort in. You can't.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? I know where my limitations are, and I know what. That's why I don't compete. There's no way in a million years I'd win shit if I got on stage. However, I know if I get my physique looking a certain way, I can make a lot of money doing films. And I've done 11 now. So I get where my niche is. I understand where I need to get myself to physically to be able to justify the hours and the money I put into training.
And that's the beauty of social media as well, isn't it? If you've got that kind of characteristics and you're charismatic, you enjoy what you're doing, you're passionate, and you're helping other people, then you're going to go further than if you're just an athlete.
For sure. I mean, like, there's I've got Dean with me downstairs, who's won the British 4 times, probably one of the best bodies in the UK. No one knows him. No. Because he's the most boring git you'll ever meet.
Don't cut that bit.
Don't cut that bit. Dean, you're boring.
That's what's like when you go to the expos now. Like we went to the Arnold last year, and like Philippe was there, and Dexter Jackson was there, and the queues were like minimal. And you go over to like some of the big YouTubers, and the queues like round the blocks, and that's like what is massive in the fitness industry now is YouTubers, vloggers, people who've got a bit of character behind them as well, and passionate about what they're doing and they're helping other people at the same time, rather than just being a figure of excellence. So to speak.
I mean, I think that's a good thing, and I think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing because people can see normal people and be inspired, which is great, and it's giving people a level where I can achieve that and I can have a laugh. That's great. The reason I think it's bad is because you've got the best athletes in the world and no one cares. So there's got to be a happy medium where you can. We as an industry need to really figure out how to, if the industry wants to grow in that sector, how to really sort of bring these people to limelight and make them, I suppose, more interesting. Yeah. But there needs to be, like for me, I'll go to a bodybuilding show and I look at a bodybuilder and I'm like, wow, they're incredible. I look at him for 30 seconds and I'm done. I don't want to look at him anymore. And that for me is where the sort of sport, unless you are passionate and you love it and you want to watch every single quarter turn and you want to see that and you want to see this, it's going to really have to figure a way forward to grow. But that's why those YouTubers and like people like yourself bring other people from outside the fitness street into it, because they can see something that they can relate to as well and they fall in love with. So I think it's great for the sport and it's great for the industry as well. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, the more influencers you can get that like love training and also not only love training but use training to do something, it can only be better for the industry in a whole. I also know that from your Instagram you are a dad as well. How has that kind of changed your life and how your ethos has changed and how you are as a person? Being a dad was really weird. Like I've got 2 daughters. The first one I had, Imogen, 5 years back. I remember sitting there in the hospital room and he's like, "Wow, you got a girl. Wow." Well, I probably wasn't like that. I probably was like, "Wow." And I was like, "This is cool." And then after about an hour, I was like, "Oh, I gotta go and eat now." Yeah. I'm looking around like, "Who the fuck do I give this to?" And my missus has been rushed down to have a placenta out, and because she was going to breastfeed, I couldn't feed her, so she was crying, and I was like, "What the fuck am I doing this?" and for me, that was the moment it sort of really changed, and I was like, okay, my life isn't priority anymore. And ever since that stage, I still do what I need to do, but there's always them in the back of my mind, and that's my energy now. You know, it's like you put things into perspective, and there's been so much crap happen over the last 12, 18 months in all areas of life, and when you have children, you realise what really is important and what's just, you should just let whoosh, and it definitely turns you from a boy into a man, in so many ways. And until you have children, I don't think you quite appreciate what that is. I think it's a nice thing to see from especially your page. I've followed you for a while, and when you get that element to it as well, it's nice to see that like you've got that side of you, which is a little bit outside the whole exterior of what you're obviously painted as well. And I think it's a good thing, so it lets a lot of people in. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't care how big or how ugly you are. You know, when you got your children in front of you, there's just that's it. You know what I mean? That's your whole world. And people are always. They'll look at someone and they'll make an opinion. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, that opinion is completely wrong until they get to know that person. Of course. So I'm sure there's also a lot of perks to being a giant, but what is one of the daily struggles that you face when being so big and so tall? I bang my head on my life, even in my own house. I bang my head on the roof of the doors, and that's the worst one. Aeroplanes, I do a lot of travelling, even though we get to fly in nice chairs and up the top. You know, if you're doing a 10-12 hour flight and you try to get to sleep and you can't get your elbows down because the seats are too narrow, they're made for me and more. Yeah, like the height sometimes isn't the problem. It's when you put the height and the width in, it doesn't work. So I'd imagine, I'd say for myself the most irritable thing is the smacking of your head and not being able to fit in chairs properly. Okay. Cheers, that one. That's it. Thank you very much, buddy. Lastly, what size are these? You're a 12. 12. Get these up.